Hi friends, today we will see the functions concept, Python functions. Function is a function is a block of code or or a set of statements present in it. Statements are group of statements present in it. Of statements present inside the function. Function. Actually, function is a like it is a uh, meaningful statements it present to through functions we can achieve some task, like it is like if you want to execute that sum, like I want to create the sum function, like I want to execute the multiplication. If I want to write the multiplication function, like this type of tasks, like I want to write the some other short or boolean short or other sorting techniques, like if you want to write that sorting techniques, we have to write the functions instead of writing the line by line and code. We have to we can write the functions and we can reuse that functions every time. We can call that function. There are functions are two types. Functions are two types. One is one is primitive functions or built-in functions. Primitive functions are called built-in functions. Built-in functions. Next one is user-defined functions. User-defined functions are called as custom functions. Custom functions. Primitive functions and user-defined functions. Primitive functions means it's programming, like it is the primitive functions is present in the program itself, like programming language itself. We are like who are developed the programming language like Python. In that Python, that they are given that some built-in are primitive functions like primitive functions like programming language, Python programming language, own functions, own functions, like examples like print id, type of type of type of and other functions like len function, sum function, and shorted. These are functions we have seen that shorted functions. These are functions. These are primitive functions we have seen. Once again, friends, function is a block of code or set of statements present inside the functions. Function is available some statements, like it is a meaningful. If you want to the make the meaningful functions, like you want to achieve some task, you want to achieve uh, some some task or some work. We have to write that function. In that function, we have to write a group of statements. That group of statements may contains the some primitives, some may contains the some like some statements like if conditions contains and for loops contains anything like a printf, like in that their own, like printf also contains print, like they contains may like contains the type and id, they contains that. Function is a achieve some task, like why we have to write the function. We have to write the functions for reusability. We have to writing the same code, like always instead of writing that repeating the same function, like same statements or same group of statements every time repeating. It's we have to create the some function and make it is reusable. Make it reusable. Like functions are two types. One is a primitive functions and another one is a user defined functions. Primitive functions like primitive functions may like Python, like every language it's have own primitive functions, like their own primitive functions. If you suppose take the Python, print like ID type length like this. These are the primitive functions. User defined functions means our own, like we have to create by like while developing the application itself. User defined functions means we have to write the functions while developing the applications or every type of application, not only that one type, like web applications, like gaming applications, like data science applications, like any application. User defined functions means our like user or developer application. We can write the application developer. Application developer will write will write own own functions own functions using some set of instructions, using some set of statements or instructions, some set of statements. In this functions contains may contains may contains if conditions, loops, or flow control statements are primitive functions also like uh, printf, like sorry, not printf, print id type length some may contains this, and may contains operators and variables, and these are like variables, operators, like etc. Functions may contain these are like conditions, flow control statements, primitive functions, and variables, operator, etc. Why we have to write functions? Functions features. First one is reusability mechanism. Reusability. Second one is reusability means if you want to write the some code, like if you want to the some 10 lines of code, 10 lines of code we have to repeat that every time, like after 20 lines we have to repeat that 10 lines again. Again, we have to repeat after 30 lines or 40 lines of after 100 lines. Every time repeating the 10 lines in this program. So if you take that printf, I'm doing using that, like statement 1, statement 2, statement 3, statement 4, statement 6, statement 7, like this. We are repeating these 10 lines every after 100 lines, after 200 lines, after 300 lines. Repeating these statements, like suppose consider this, assume this one is a statements, like any statement, like if statements are, I'm given like printer, but you can consider this as a if or flow for you can consider this something like, but instead of repeating this every time, we are going to write the one function, we are going to write one function called one function, write a one function like this, function like this, and make it reusable every time. A function like this, right? Uh, function function one, and I'm going to write this like this. Actually, not this way. We see how to create the function. We are going to repeat this one instead of writing the every time. We are call that function like we are going to call f and here also all this after 200 lines also call that function, call this function like this way. This way of writing it is we are making this 10 lines reusable and not writing that repeating unnecessarily repeating this code every time like after 200 lines, after 300 lines, after 1000 lines, the same 10 lines. It makes that redundancy, like increases the repetitions. Due to this, code not looks like nice. Instead of, we are going to create that one function like this. Sorry, friends. We are going to create the function like this and make this function call after 200 lines, after 300 lines, after 400 lines. We are going to function call. Second one is easy to trace the errors. Easy to trace the errors. Like if you errors like logical errors, we have did some plus operator instead of minus operator. We have did that star up like multiplication operator. We have did some like anything like not only that like instead of condition we have that condition is failed, like any logical error. Due to this function, it is easy to trace that function, like where that function, like in which function this that error logical error or syntax error got, like this. We can trace easy to trace the errors and reusability mechanism. Like function, how to create the function, like like how how to create the function creation we will see in Python. Actually, this is not the way of the creating the function. I have shown the general C and C++, how it is a function is created. Function creation, like function while creating the function, there is a three three terminologies we have observed, like function declaration terminologies we will see. Function definition. Third one is function calling. We will see any like creation of function. We will see the three terminologies like function declaration and function definition and function calling. Function declaration means like in C and C++ we have seen this function declaration in the like before calling the function we have to declare the function in the above top of the file, like we have to how actually this is not required in the C like Python, we can ignore also, ignore. Function definition means we are creating the function, like we are creating the function using the def keyword. We are creating the function using the def keyword. Actually, it is the start of the function. Using this def keyword only, we are going to start the function. Function creation, it will start from the def keyword. Like after the def, we have to write the function name. After the def keyword, we have to write the function name and optional parameters inside the parentheses. After, we will see the how to do. Def, suppose def keyword, it is the start of the function creation. Must and should we have to write the def keyword. Next, function name. Name. Like you can take that any name. I'm taking the get name. I'm taking this. This is the parenthesis. After this parenthesis, inside this parenthesis, there is optional parameters like formal parameters like first name or last name. These are optional. I'm not giving the first function, first program of the function. Like next one is column, not semicolon, column. This is the end of the functions, like not of the end of the, and like it will make that indentation, like it will follows the indentation, like in if conditions and for loops, we have seen that indentation. We have to write two to three, like two to four space bars after this. Here we are going to print like I have told that we are inside the functions also we are going to see the primitive functions. I'm writing here. First name is Johnson. First name is one two. I'm taking only two. Name first name. I'm taking first name John. Last name I'm taking Smith. Here first name I'm taking and another print. Last name, last name. This is the function creation. We can use the conditions like for loops also. Next one is function calling. Function calling. We are going to call the functions using function name. Function name. Like this, we are going to call the functions with optional parameters. Optional arguments are not parameters, these are arguments. While calling the these are called while calling the pass while calling we have to pass the arguments. That terminology is called arguments. While defining the function, it is called that optional. Like it is called optional parameters. While calling the function, we are going to passing the arguments. The terminology is argument. While defining the function, we are going to see the function and function name. These are optional parameters. These are parameters like statements. Statement one and like statements would be called like statements. Like this, we are going to define. Here, get name. Outside of the function, we have to call this function, not inside. If you try to execute this get name, or like not get name, file python test.py. See, first name John and last name Smith. Like this, we are going to print. If we try to execute these statements n number of times, it will print that same. What is the problem? Okay, I have misspelled that get name. Okay, call this function. Done. Sorry, Python test.py. See, if you want any new line, we get name. See, we got the same answer. In number, if we call that n number of times, we got the same answer. This is the function. Function with this is the example of function with no argument, zero arguments. Second example we will see. Second example we will see like get name only, but we are going to pass the first name and last name. Instead of this, like you do this every time some same name and same like every time function like function column we are getting the see here output. Every time we are getting the Smith, John Smith, John Smith, John Smith, we are getting the same name. If we try to make it different in every function call, we are calling this John and Smith, and this one is called uh, Krishna and this one is Hari and Rahul, like this. If you call this function like Python test.py, see here John Smith, John Smith, John Smith. See here. Here see that output. John Smith, first one is John Smith, second one is Krishna Ram and Hari Rahul. Like this, I'm got. Like we can create n number of ways like a function. We can make it like if conditions make for loops. We are going to write that loops and iterators. Like we can write that we can use these functions as much as our need we like if we have to perform some task means we have to write these functions and we can make it use that functions according to our requirement uh, like I will show that one more function. I'll copy and paste here. Def get uh, print even number. Print is even number. Print is even. Is even instead of print num. Here I'm going to write that if num percentage to equal to 0, like this num is even number. Dot format of num here. Else print of num is odd number. If you want only even number, you can make it this like or remove this one. Print is even number 42 I'm giving and execute this one. See, and then now keyboard. I got that here now. Num is even number. Okay, here not require anything or you can give 0 also. 42 is even number. I want to take that dynamically. Num is equals to number or you can call as number is equals to int of we are making typecasting input of enter number instead of uh, by like directly passing into the function I'm making it is dynamic. See, if you give the 34, 34 is even number. 24, 24 is even number. 56, 56 is even number. 55, 55 is, I did not got any message here. If you want that, it will show like a even number or odd number. 0 is odd number, not format of num. See, if you 24, even number. 34, even number. 23, 23 is odd number. Like this, we are getting 58, 58 is even number. 57, 57 is odd number. Like this, we are getting. This is one type of program. If you want loops also, we can add loops also. Not a big issue. Print instead of even number. Print 10 sequence. 10 sequence. I'm giving number card. I'm passing that number. For I in range of print of for format of can give zero also. We can call. I'm giving 10. Please now. Okay. Here I'm not changed. Print 10 sequence. 10. Okay. If you want to give 20, I got 20, 19 up to 30, like 29 I got, 40, 39 I got. Like this can print that sequence. Or you can call it as a number sequence also. Num sequence. 20, 30, 35, sorry, not 25, 35, 45, uh, 23, like this we are printing sequence using the loops. That's all, friends. If you like my content, please like and subscribe and support my channel.